Welcome to Offbeat Frontiers, presented by KMFA Classical 89.5 Austin. Offbeat Frontiers brings you conversations with creators pushing the boundaries of the new music and indie classical art scene of Austin, Texas. I'm your host, Jess Griggs. I'm here at Genuine Joe's Coffee off of Wes Anderson Lane in Austin, Texas, to talk with the violinist and vocalist Camille Schiess and the bassist Dana Marie. They're both part of multiple bands here in the city, including American Dreamer, Austin Unconducted, and Magnolia Kids. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Any philosophies, classical music hot takes?
Oh wow, yeah. Brahms over Mozart.
Dude, Mozart's second movements, though.
Mozart's second movements are bangers.
Dude, I will say, in the violin concerto, the second movement of which one is it? The G? Is it G major?
Yeah, of course it's the violin concerto.
Oh, get out of here.
Brahms just wrote really good bass parts. That's all I'm saying.
I'm trying to think of like classical bass rep. Dmitri Bortanovsky, maybe?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Mahler wrote a solo.
I'm like trying to think like.
Dude, Mahler had the basses. He had the basses back.
It's that I'm thinking of.
Oh, that's what you're thinking of? That's what I was like, yo, Brahms he did not write any melodies.
There's
like the Frere Jacques?
Yeah, the Frere Jacques.
Yeah, that's the one bass solo. The one bass solo.
I feel like that's a music history drop the needle thing that I remember. That's like coming from my coming from the dregs of my memory.
Oh, I force all of my kids to learn that.
Oh, absolutely, I'm sure. Well, cool. I want to know, how did you guys meet and when did you guys start creating together?
I met Camille through American Dreamer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's how I met Dana.
We did go to UT, but I don't think we went there at the same time. I think we just missed each other. Okay. So I joined American Dreamer, and then Camille was subbing. As far as like how we started specifically creating stuff together, I mean, I think that like Camille and her husband Tony had already kind of written some songs together. So that was kind of a jumping off point. Okay. But I specifically remember one day, like I think we had talked about it for a while, like well, we should just try doing something together. And I came over, and I think that was when we wrote the AC song. So we wrote this really dumb song about air conditioners.
Yeah.
What about air conditioners?
It's important.
In Texas, they're important, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it just started because actually, like, I was really shocked that I don't know why this blew my mind, but we're rehearsing at Dana's house, and she pulled out this is an actual lyric, but like she pulled out her phone to turn down the temperature, which was crazy to me, because I was like, whoa, you can do that now? I don't know why that was so crazy to me. And then we just started kind of like singing and jamming in that rehearsal.
We got a groove going.
We got a groove going, and we're like, we're gonna make this a song. And then we did.
Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, I mean, after we kind of did that, that's when I think I started playing more with Tony and Camille. Like I said, like they had kind of already charted out some songs and had sort of a roadmap for a few things. So
that's cool.
Then the three of us kind of combined forces.
Was that the genesis? So you guys met in American Dreamer, and then was that the genesis for Magnolia Kids? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I saw in your guys' bio that music education's really important to y'all, and American Dreamer also has a music education outreach program, which I feel like for a band, I see some of that, but not a ton with like indie rock bands. I may be wrong. What about music education is so important to y'all as creators?
It's important to share to, anyone, but like to kids, what you can do with your instrument. It's not just one genre. I mean, it's just like you can do so much, and just to share. Also just share music is important. And I just love sharing what I do, and just to be like, look, you can create this way, you know?
Being a teacher is an incredibly important part of my life, and and I know it's the same for everybody in American Dreamer. both Courtney and I are classroom teachers, and Sasha and Camille teach private lessons, and we wouldn't be who we are and where we are without our music teachers too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And for me, teaching music is an incredibly fulfilling way to stay connected to music, and also to feel like I'm giving young people opportunities to find how they can be connected to music too.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, we tend to focus on certain things in a music classroom. And as much as I want to be like, okay, we're going to learn about every genre and everything that you can do, we have to be sort of focused, and we have certain obligations in the classroom. So being able to enter a space where we're like, okay, you can use all those skills that you learn, and now we're going to do something totally different, is really cool. And hopefully gives, you know, young people who are learning to play string instruments or non-string instruments or singing or whatever, just a model to be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can do more than just play lightly row.
Yeah. Oh, look at that cool technique. I'm gonna try and like, mess around with that thing.
Yeah.
It's true.
Room to explore a little
room
bit.
to explore. Yeah.
And maybe hopefully like inspire them to like write their own songs or music, or like explore new things, and that all those techniques you learn are important and valid, and you can use those. But now let's like start going outside of that too.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
What does that like collaborative process look like for American Dreamer and Magnolia Kids? Is it a lot of like you guys kind of following each other, listening to the AC? Like...
Gosh, I mean, it's very different.
Yeah.
Depending on the band. I mean, American Dreamer was a very different collaboration process than Magnolia Kids, which is also different, I think, than just like when Camille and I are playing together too.
Yeah.
So like with American Dreamer, and this has developed over time, but originally American Dreamer was very much like Sasha, the band leader, would be like, here's my song, and even in the beginning was like, here's the parts that are written out.
Yeah.
And you know, I think as we went along, like I kind of wanted more freedom with my part, so I was like, I'm just gonna make it up.
Yeah.
And then when Camille joined, it was all just like, okay, just give us the chords, and we'll just make it up.
Yeah.
And then Camille started writing more songs, and sometimes the parts are prescribed. Like sometimes it's like, please play this. But it has become a lot more collaborative over time.
Yeah, and I think Sasha wanted a little bit element because he was writing so much, and I think he really wanted us to make it and encouraged us to kind of make it our own as a group, you know, which is really, really awesome. Because it just kind of, that's what creates a unique sound. I think that's what creates our unique sound.
Yeah. And I did want to ask you guys too about, I feel like with all of the groups that y'all are playing with American Dreamer, Magnolia Kid, Austin Unconducted, even like there's this playing around with established models with classical music. There's playing around in and around different genres. Why is that important for y'all as creators?
I think actually Magnolia Kids, because Tony's classical guitarist, Dana, you're a classical bassist, I'm a classical violinist. The only non-classical musician is Micah, I believe. And even
Micah Motenko, shout out to Motenko.
Yeah,
he has a band too.
Ow. But I actually, because classical music is really, there's just so many gorgeous writing and all this stuff. And I think it's just, everyone can relate to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I write, actually, for example, Tony brings in, he plays his Debussy, he plays the Clair de Lune.
Yeah.
That's just straight classical in there. But it's so cool to kind of, we put it on the electric guitar, and then it leads into a song, and you just get this soundscape. And I think what classical music can do is just, it really creates a story. So I try to, just let that be a little more present. It's not something to shy away from.
Yeah.
In fact, it's something that actually dig into a little bit more. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like I see Tony lately he's been in the room with his guitar. We've been listening to some, what was it, Rachmaninoff or something? Yeah, we're listening to a score from Willy Wonka, The Pure Imagination.
Okay.
It's beautiful score writing.
Yeah.
But just there's a lick in there. And you can solo with that. It's just this beautiful harmony thing that's happening, and he learned it in there, and then he's probably going to put it in one of our songs, and you'd have no idea. And that's taking from, what we know, what we love, but changing it a little bit so that it just, it just kind of fits in there, but you have no idea, and you have no idea, and it's like, well, yeah, that's from a classical riff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for me, it kind of embodies who we are as musicians, which is varied and multifaceted.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and in each group, to break it down further, like, even in Austin Unconducted, which, I guess at its core, we're playing classical music, but everyone in that group is more than that.
Yeah.
And so feeling like we have room to bring our own perspectives and bring our own ways of thinking and playing and putting that together in what is a very collaborative experience, because there's no conductor. Not that working with a conductor is
It's just
by default not collaborative, but it's different. So I think that it just helps us be ourselves. Even when you're sort of working within the confines of like, well, this is what this is, but how can we make it ours? And that's where I think classical music really comes alive, is when you take something that's there and you do make it yours, and make it special to yourself or your ensemble. And then, like with Magnolia Kids, I think that is the heart of what Magnolia Kids is that we bring who we are to that group. And I don't think that we've ever really approached that band as like, well, we are this band.
This is
We're
ours.
doing this. We really struggle to find a genre for that band.
Everyone's just like, "What's your genre?" I'm like,
I have no idea.
I'm sorry. Yeah, good luck.
and I think what makes that group special is that Camille, Tony, and I and Mike are all very close. And I also think we're all kind of coming from a place of like mutual respect and like wanting each person to like really bring like, well, this is what you heard for here, and we want you to like explore your instrument and how you hear this music in your own way. And that's the music we make, is like we make all the parts very unique to ourselves. In American Dreamer, I think too, like as I was saying, we've gotten increasingly collaborative in that band, and Sasha comes from a very different background than Camille, Courtney, and I too. And I think it has really allowed us to explore some of the things that he's brought with him from his education, and also put in the elements of who we are as classical musicians, but also as we evolved to start bringing in those improvisatory elements too.
For you personally, what do you feel like you're bringing to that like sonic soundscape? Like what parts of your personality are you always trying to like bring to the table?
I know that when I play with people, sorry, I got all excited because I'm going to go back to the classical thing. As a classical musician, because that is my background, right? I think it's the listening, how good of listening, but then also just knowing how to support and all that stuff. I think that's what I can, at least that's how I feel when I enter other people's music, is the sensitivity that I got from all my background, is just to be able to listen, to be able to be like, oh yeah, you want this little thing here, if this needs more intensity, I can give that, just that I think, it gives me a lot of, strength to be like, this is what I can give you,
absolutely.
Like I can do, honestly, anything you want me to do.
I love that,
But I think it's a sensitivity. I think it's a true sensitivity and just a collaboration that,
I wouldn't say that I consider myself to be like a showy player, and I don't think that I go into situations and be like, okay, I'm ready to play every note. Totally. I really want to find that area where I can support the rest of the band.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Camille's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think ideally, like, gosh, to like describe like what do I bring to the table?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Your loveliness, your positivity. Let's do a job interview right now.
my punctuality.
What is your strength and what is your weakness?
Hey, hey, fox, don't go away. Can you show me where to hide? There's a hole in the ground where the heart is beating.
Yeah, and kind of transitioning a little bit more into American Dreamer, I'd love to talk about your latest album, also called American Dreamer, released in 2023 last year. Yeah, can you talk a little bit about how that album like came to fruition and what that creative process looked like?
It was kind of limited. We had how many days? 5?
Yeah, we didn't actually have that many days essentially to record it. But yeah, I mean, recording a high quality album is incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, the music on the album was sort of years in the making.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the songs, you know, span from when we first started playing together, even before I was in the band.
Yeah.
Like, Words Do the Walking on the album is from
We've
way before.
been playing that for so many
years, yeah. And then there was some new stuff, and also we didn't have an album yet that featured any of Camille's music.
Yeah, I wasn't
nor
on there,
her playing on the album.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, this is my one album with you guys.
So, you know, it kind of started back then. But yeah, the grant we got from, which was then Black Fret, now Sonic Guild, was a launching point. It was a huge job.
Yeah,
It was a huge job.
Tuesdays from like 6 to 9. It was over the summer.
Yeah, and also, you know, we recorded the album and then Courtney and Sasha moved a few months later, and it wasn't done yet. So then working together, you know, basically through Google Doc, was hard, and but I think in the end, you know, we got it done in about a year.
Yeah.
Which at the time felt really long, but I think now I have a better understanding that things can drag way longer. But I appreciate that we got it done in that amount of time because things still felt exciting and fresh by the time we released it, and I think that we arrived at a place for everybody that everyone was happy. With how it sounded and that their voice was heard, and
I listened to it. I'm like, wow, we did this. Like, this is crazy.
It is a lovely album.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's your baby, but like, do you guys have favorite tracks off of that album?
I really like Heaven's Child because I think it's an incredibly interesting song, which I know I said it before the interview, but Camille wrote that song. Yeah. It's an amazing song.
And she wrote it.
And she very kindly let me sing it.
I did it for your vocals.
But it's a super interesting song.
Yeah.
And I think has really, really neat textures. I think that my other favorites on the album are Goes Quickly, which is an old song.
I was going to say It Goes Quickly.
Yeah.
And that's the first one on the album.
And Sasha wrote that song way before American Dreamer in Austin existed too.
Okay.
He wrote it and released it under his own name as his own project before this album happened. And I think that how we ended up recording it is really lovely. And it's a great song. So kudos to Sasha for writing such a great song. But I just love how it turned out. And and I love the song Railway Bound for Mercy.
Yeah.
It's another really nice song. And it's like, it's kind of just like a nice folk song.
Yeah.
I think it's a really well-constructed folk song. And I don't think it has like as many like different layers as the other songs I mentioned, but I sort of appreciate it in that nature, and that it's just, this is the folk song.
It's a nice breather, I feel like, with everything.
We all sing on it, and I love how we come together in that particular song at the very end. I love it. I love that chorus.
Please, mercy, please. It always seems like trouble. Follows me.
American Dreamer will be playing at KMFA on Friday, April 12th. And that program is titled Adoration and Remembrance. Can you talk a little bit about what that program's about and how you came to that program and how you've been...
Well, Stacy had kind of approached us about the remembrance part of it and involving remembering Draylon Mason, who was a student of mine who was killed several years ago, tragically. So part of the program is kind of inspired by him.
Yeah.
There's certain elements of it that we'll be performing in sort of in his memory. One of which we're playing the song. I know Sasha sort of carefully chose several songs that we think kind of fit the theme and talk about like remembering things, whether or not it's specifically remembering a person, but just remembering life and how things change. And I know one specific song that we're doing is Hey Boy, which we had recorded that on another album actually when I got the news about what happened. And then we're going to be performing an arrangement, string arrangement of a very classical piece, a bass standard. It's Bottesini's Elegy.
Okay.
That was the last song that was the last piece of music that I ever got the opportunity to work on with Dreamland. And it has always been kind of a special piece of music to me since then to remember him by. And just holds a lot of value to me. And it's going to be a little different than the original piece because I'll be playing the bass solo, but some of the solo parts are going to be given to Courtney and Camille as well. So, it'll be kind of a different take on that piece, but will definitely be kind of inspired by him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And will be a kind of a special moment. And I've always sort of wanted to play that song in his memory. Calling it a song. It is a piece.
My piano teacher would have kicked you out right away.
It's not a song. There are no words.
This is a safe space.
But yeah, I've always wanted to play that piece.
Yeah.
Basically for him. And a lot of, like I said, Sasha kind of curated the rest of the program. But we are playing a piece that Sophie arranged.
Daylight Moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for y'all creatively, either with the groups or for y'all personally, or teachers, educators?
As far as like new projects and stuff goes, Magnolia Kids is working on releasing an album.
Yep.
Oh, good luck
We
with
were just
that.
in the studio on Monday. So yeah.
By studio, I
Yeah.
mean like Micah's room.
Shout out to Micah.
Shout out to Micah.
Once again.
And Austin Unconducted is playing.
Yes.
KMFA again,
KMFA.
yeah, absolutely. And you guys have a really cool new curator as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so that should be really exciting.
God, it's always exciting.
It's always exciting, I feel like.
Every time I'm like, yes, okay, cool. Who's the curator this time? Sweet.
I feel like that's like such a cool thing about like the indie
Yeah.
classical
Yeah.
scene in Austin. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, and this is happening, and this is happening.
Yeah.
And this Saturday, 3 people
Yeah.
are having their concerts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just awesome. Everyone's so creative and awesome. It's so wonderful to be in that world. So.
Absolutely. Anything that I missed in this interview that you want to talk about? Sorry.
How much I appreciate my experience with American Dreamer.
Yeah.
And how much that being in that band has helped me grow
Yeah.
as a musician. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss Courtney and Sasha
I miss
terribly.
them a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and they really it's like playing with them really opened up so many doors, and I really thank them for everything,
Yeah, and bands come and go, and I think it's impressive that American Dreamer, despite the fact that Courtney and Sasha moved, has kind of still kept going.
Continue.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to find ways to play music together, and I think it's great that we love each other all so
Yeah.
much, and that we've stayed friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in every band.
No, it doesn't.
So I
Yeah.
think that's it's all been such a positive experience.
Absolutely. Where can people find you online if they want to keep up with everything that you're doing in the month of April and onward?
Instagram is a great place.
Yeah.
I mean, all the bands we're in have Instagram pages. American Dreamer, Austin Unconducted, Magnolia Kids. We all have Instagrams. We also have Facebooks, websites. But individually, you can find us on Instagram, and I think both of us are pretty good about posting shows that we have coming
Yeah.
up. And like you said, we play with a lot of different people in Austin, all of which are amazing and great projects. So check out all of those people too.
Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you guys for tuning in to Offbeat Frontiers presented by KMFA 89.5. And if you like to support new music, classical music in the city of Austin, please give us a like and subscribe.